None of us would know what it would feel like to have our homes raided and parents killed, and you're taken off with some strange soldiers and thrown into the back of a truck with the rest of the kids in your town, not knowing where you're going or what is going to happen to you. This is just a small glimpse in the beginning of a child soldier's life. No one really pays attention to what is going on to the children in battle. They are taken in and forced into wars to save the lives of the older adult soldiers that are too big of cowards to fight for themselves, but still have enough nerve to go kidnap children and throw them in the middle of battle and send them to an early death. This is something I'm passionate about because no child should ever have to fight a war, especially one for their country, where they are wielding a weapon that weighs more than they do. The main points I will talk about are what kids go through before they enter the war, what happens to them in a war, and ways people can help the scarred children if they make it out alive. Most of them start off a normal day, just like anyone else, in their normal conditions until the one frightening day occurs. First, I want to talk about what children go through before they enter the war and the ways they are recruited, which is just, this isn't in detail, it was gruesome. The communities get raided and the children are taken and beaten into submission, where they just give up so they don't have to be beaten any longer, which the picture over there shows. It's like a teenager on the ground and then all the soldiers are standing around them and they take them off. And that's the most common way. And the second most common way is in the parts of Africa where all this occurs, they live in poverty. So most children join to escape the poverty because they provide them with food and water and whatnot. And they've had rare cases where some kids join the military out of revenge or for some other unknown reasons. Next, I will talk about what they go through during the wars. The main reason is they fight, they get put into battle, but they also do jobs that's not even fit for a normal person. Some of them serve as porters carrying heavy loads like ammunition or injured soldiers. Some serve as lookouts, messengers, cooks, or other routine duties. And the girls are said to be the most vulnerable in their force to serve as sexual slaves, like honesty's speech. They sell them, like trade them and whatnot to other soldiers, and it's just, I don't even think it is. And the worse it gets for the children is they're used as acts of terror, like suicide bombing, like you see this kid holding, like, it's like a bomb type that you plant it in the ground. This is all for the children in armed conflict on the white side. They're also brainwashed, so the soldiers can get them to do whatever they want. They use drugs and alcohol to get them to do what they want done. Like those kids over there, they're probably like 10 or 11 and they're smoking cigarettes and stuff. Like no normal 10-year-old would ever be caught smoking a cigarette. And there was one case, a big story, where there were hundreds of people taken hostage and held captive by the rebel God's army. And they were led by twins that were only 12 years old. And I don't know if I had 12-year-old twins, I don't think they would pull 100 people hostage. So that's not even normal. And a famous war quote from Trent Russell, he says, "War does not determine who is right, only who is left." So don't you think these children might be a little traumatized once they get out, if they make it out? Some kids managed to escape the war, but others had to stay and fight. Those that made it through never had the same life again. So how can we help? We help Americans whenever, and they help this guy who's named Emmanuel Jaw. He was a former 8-year-old soldier that escaped. And he said his life was never the same for him. He always had nightmares and never slept because of it. He never trusted anyone around him because of the way people treated him when he was at war. For kids like Joel, the slightest attention would bring them back to reality of a life. Joel was introduced to music and he's a new recording artist. He said that music basically saved his life. Little things like music can help save the lives of these children. That's from the Goods and Soda website. We did build rehabilitation centers in Africa that help children that are addicted to drugs and alcohol. They say the main reason that the kids in Africa are addicted to drugs and alcohol is because they're taken in by these kind of people and brainwashed. And the things like these rehabilitation centers are ways that we can help these children come out of the darkest days. but not many people are over. They kind of faded because they can't stop them from raiding all the communities, but they still do have children that need help. So that's one thing that we could do also, is just send more people over, because it's really needed. In conclusion, I talked about what kids go through before wars, what happens to them during a war, and how we can help the scarred children if they make it out alive. A little guidance for these children if they make it out alive can go a long way. I know if I was in a situation like this and we made it out alive all alone with nowhere to go or no one to go to, I most definitely want someone to show me some guidance which can help with some dedication and hard work from the everyday people.